The first clash between India and Australia in the T20 International Series did not disappoint. Over 300 runs were scored, and the crowd, the big crowd that came into DY Patil Stadium, certainly enjoyed that. They would have been happy the fact that India was sent in and they were able to post a decent total of 172 runs for 5 wickets, thanks largely to a bit of power at the start, going over 10 runs and over in the first 4 overs because of Shafali, Verma and Smriti Mandhana, and then the back end because of Richa, Ghosh and Deepti Sharma. But whilst Australia didn't necessarily nail their death bowling, they were able to nail their start. And when you've got 2 players walking out in the middle, Beth Mooney and Elisa Healy, they're 2 players that really understand their game and each other's. They were able to put on a 73-run partnership, and that laid the platform. And in the end, Beth Mooney finished unbeaten on 89 to secure victory to Australia, and they take the points for the first encounter, win by 9 wickets and still a few overs left to spare. Now, looking at the game, my top 3 picks, I'd have to say number 1 would be Deepti Sharma. I thought her innings right at the end was really crucial. 36 unbeaten off 15. And to take Megan Shoot for 4 boundaries in a row in the final over, and her figures over 40 runs in those 4 overs, you don't normally see that from Megan Shoot. So exceptional innings there, and the momentum certainly the Indian team would have felt that. My number 2 pick, I'm actually going to go for the new skipper, Elisa Healy. I'm sure there were times in the match, probably right at the start when Shafali Verma was going hard, and probably at the end when Deepti Sharma was finding the boundaries, she was probably thinking, what am I doing? She managed the bowl as well. It looks like the Australian side is going to give lots of overs and opportunities to everyone. 7 bowlers used, in fact, for the Australian side. And then she played an important little innings at the start. I think it's really important for her just to remember that she's still a player, and she did exactly that. The third player, I am going to go with Shafali Verma. I know there's been a little talk about how she plays, and there's only, she's in 5th gear all the time, but when she gets going, it goes well. 21 off 10 deliveries. Unfortunately for India and the fans, she just didn't stay in long enough, but she certainly put Australia on notice, and she does that regularly. Her matchups with Megan Shoot are excellent. Player of the match, no surprise, it's Beth Mooney, unbeaten, 89 off 57 deliveries. She just shows that there is different ways of scoring runs. I mean, she was 18 off 18, and then she goes through the gears nicely. She moves around the crease laterally, and it's very hard to bowl to when she's in her zone. Just amazing, given the fact that she probably missed the first couple of training sessions. She wasn't quite feeling well enough. Comes in, doesn't matter. Beth Mooney does what Beth Mooney always does, scores runs, especially against the Indian side. The moment in the game, I'm going to say actually Elise Perry. I feel like she came in, and she hasn't been playing in this T20 side since October 2021. Now, there's been a lot of T20 cricket played since then. Commonwealth Games, for example, didn't feature at all. So for her to come in, take the ball when India is going at over 10 runs and over, she picks up a wicket. Then in the 5th over, picks up a wicket maiden. That changed the game, I think, because if Shafali Verma and Smriti Mandhana were able to keep going, I think we would have seen over 200 runs scored. The impact player, I'm going to give it to Richa Ghosh. The fact that she was able to get going in that 13th over mark really ensured that India got into that 170 plus score, which was really important to give their bowlers a chance. I'm a little bit scared for the bowlers. Can you imagine? Under 19 World Cup in South Africa in January, and you've got Shafali Verma and Richa Ghosh there playing. I mean, they are going to terrorise those young bowlers. Do we give the trophy to India already? But certainly it's great to see her back into the side, having a big impact with the bat. She is certainly the future. The lesson of the day, when you look at the score that was put on, there's probably 2 things. India needs someone to go big in their top 4. That's the difference between the Australian team and the Indian team. And then when you look from a fielding perspective, there were 2 drop chances. Unfortunately, both of them Radha Yadav, both of them the unbeaten batters, Talia McGrath and Beth Mooney. Now, they only give you, these type of players only give you the 1 chance potentially in a game, and you've got to be able to take it. Then we saw the dew factor coming in and the ball skidding on. Now, the players are now hitting the ball really hard, so when it skips off that surface like that, it is extremely hard, so your technique has to be good. So India need to lift in the field. One thing we can say straight after this first T20 international, it's going to be a run feast at DY Patil. So bowlers, make sure you've got some wonderful resilience. You're going to need it. But I'm sure that the Indian side will fight back. But this Australian side are just getting started as well. The next match, not that far away. So I look forward to you joining me again here on Cricket Buzz.